Welcome to our lecture on sewage sumps, receiving tanks, and dumping stations. While these might not be the most common components you will install as a plumber, they are absolutely critical when a standard gravity-fed municipal sewer system isn't an option. Today, we will explore how to properly select, install, and maintain these systems, as well as look at the unique plumbing needs of mobile home parks and recreational vehicle dumping stations.
Let us start by clarifying the difference between a holding tank and a receiving tank. While they look similar, their functions are quite different. A sewage holding tank is used in rural areas where municipal sewers are unavailable and soil conditions do not allow for a private septic field. It simply holds the sewage until a vacuum truck pumps it out. A receiving tank, often called a sewage sump, is used when plumbing fixtures are located below the level of the main building drain, like in a deep basement. It holds the waste temporarily until a pump pushes it up into the municipal sewer.
When it comes to the materials used for these tanks, concrete is incredibly common. Concrete tanks are highly durable and resistant to corrosive soils. Because they are so heavy, they are much less likely to float if the groundwater table rises. Their strength also allows them to be buried quite deep, sometimes up to 10 feet. The main drawback is their massive weight, which requires heavy lifting equipment and careful excavation to install safely.
If heavy equipment cannot reach the site, or if the location is very remote, fiberglass and plastic tanks are excellent alternatives. They are lightweight and easy to transport. However, because they are so light, they have a strong tendency to float if the ground becomes saturated with water. To prevent this, they must be carefully anchored or weighted down during installation, and they generally cannot be buried as deep as concrete tanks.
Installing a holding tank requires careful planning. First, it must be sized correctly, with a minimum capacity of 1,000 gallons, though the exact size depends on the home's daily water usage and the local vacuum truck's hauling capacity. You also have to place the tank where the truck can easily access it year-round. Finally, safety is paramount. The access lid must be at or above ground level, watertight and securely locked or bolted down to prevent children from accidentally falling in.
Now let us look inside a sewage receiving tank, or sump. Because the system is usually fully automatic, it relies on float switches, often called pill switches. Typically, there are 3 of these. The lowest switch turns the pump off when the tank is empty. The middle switch turns the pump on when the tank fills up. The highest switch is a safety alarm. If the water reaches this level, it means the pump has failed, and an alarm will sound to warn the building occupants before the sewage backs up into their basement.
The piping connected to a sewage sump must follow specific rules to ensure safe operation and easy maintenance. On the discharge pipe, you must install 3 components in a very specific order. First a union, then a check valve, and finally a shutoff valve. This arrangement allows a plumber to close the shutoff valve, disconnect the union, and remove the pump for repairs without sewage spilling everywhere. Additionally, the tank must be properly vented to safely exhaust sewer gases, with the vent pipe typically sized one size smaller than the largest inlet pipe. Regardless of the tank material, proper installation of the base and backfill is critical. The tank must rest on a uniform, level base of undisturbed soil or a prepared bed of gravel. If the base settles unevenly, the tank will sink, which can snap the connected plumbing lines. To further protect the pipes, they must be supported within 1 foot of the tank, and using a flexible coupler at the connection point helps absorb any slight ground movement.
Shifting gears to mobile home parks, the plumbing connections require special attention because the pipes are exposed to the elements before entering the home. The sewer service must be a minimum of 4 inches to prevent freezing blockages, and it requires a tamper-proof, resealable connection. The water service uses a stop-and-drain curb cock valve located deep underground. When the valve is turned off, the water in the vertical pipe drains out into the gravel below, preventing the pipe from freezing and bursting during the winter.
Recreational vehicle parks also present unique plumbing layouts. For serviced RV sites, the underground piping is often buried quite shallow because these parks are typically only used during the warmer, frost-free months. The layout acts much like a horizontal wet vent system. Because the vent pipes extend above ground in areas where large vehicles are moving, they are usually strapped to sturdy wooden posts or encased in steel pipes to protect them from being run over.
Seriously, RV dumping stations require strict separation between clean and dirty water to protect public health. The station will provide a non-potable water hose right next to the sewer drain, which is strictly for rinsing out sewage hoses. The potable water supply, used for filling the RV's drinking water tanks, must be located a minimum of 25 feet away from the sewer connection. This distance ensures the drinking water station is not accidentally contaminated by splashing or misused for cleaning sewage gear.
If an RV dumping station connects directly to a municipal sewer, it must be trapped and vented to protect users from dangerous sewer gases. A 4-inch trap is installed deep underground, below the frost line. Just downstream of this trap, a vent pipe must extend at least 7 feet into the air to safely carry odors and gases away from people. At ground level, the sewage inlets feature self-closing brass covers, and a graded drain is installed to catch any accidental spills. To wrap up, remember that while holding tanks and receiving tanks look similar, their functions dictate entirely different installation and maintenance rules. Always ensure tanks are properly supported in the ground to prevent pipe breakage. Finally, when working with mobile homes and RV parks, your primary concerns are protecting exposed pipes from freezing and strictly separating potable water from sewage connections to ensure public safety. Thank you for joining this lecture.